Reflect is the best possible tool out there for writing. Now, I'm a little biased, but it's designed to help you think better. And at the end of the day, writing is just thinking put onto a page and really organizing our thoughts. So I wanted to make a guide that's pretty comprehensive on how to use Reflect for writing. This is going to involve a couple components, so it might be a little bit longer than the videos that I'm used to doing. So I'm going to start by doing a CMS content tracking system, in quotes, because it's going to be very simple, don't worry. But this will help you track everything from your article ideas to your article drafts to eventually your published articles. And I'm going to show you a couple methods that you can choose from there. And then I'm going to show you the actual process of how to write in Reflect, everything from audio notes to editing with AI tools and all of that good stuff that will just take the hard part off of you so you can focus on the thinking, not the admin work. And then I've just got some final tips to help you really make writing more pleasant and more efficient. So let's get started with the CMS content tracking system. So I've got two methods here that I'm going to discuss. The first one is using tags and backlinks, and the second one is a dedicated CMS page. And I guess you could combine these, but you really should probably choose, which you'll see in a second. It might get messy if you try and combine them. I'm going to hard recommend you do the first one, and I'll talk about why. I guess I shouldn't hard recommend that, but I do really like the tag system. But at the end of the day, it's up to your personal preference. If you use a system that seems difficult or cumbersome, then try the other one, see if you like that better. So let me talk about tags first. Now, I have a system for tags where if I'm writing an article, which I can pretend this is, I will add a article idea tag to it. And let's say the article idea, I'm in Slovenia right now. I'm going to make a fake one. So paragliding locations in Slovenia. I'll pretend this is a lame SEO article. Maybe it's the best paragliding locations in locations in Slovenia. So that's my fake SEO article for my travel blog that I don't have. And if I just think of that, I can just jot it down in my daily note, just like this. And that means when I click on this tag, I have a list of all of my article ideas. This one, you know, you can kind of ignore this. I usually don't have them on dedicated pages. They're usually in daily notes like this. So if I go to Friday, July 19th, this is my fake Reflect brain, which is why you don't see anything else but these notes. I have an article idea here. So I have, this one is the more disconnected your growth channel is from the product, the worse your customers are going to be. This is one that I'm actually writing right now. And I can even add details underneath it that I want to remember for helping me write it so that when I either evaluate that idea or I decide to act on it, I already have those details. And you can probably see where this is going, but I'll just kind of show you the rest of these. So here, same thing, the future of startup marketing teams. And I can just kind of click through these and find all of my article ideas really, really quickly. And that's really nice when I get to a point where I'm ready to write something. Maybe I don't know what I want to write, and I can just pull up a list of my ideas, some of which might be partially developed already, which just makes the process quite easy. And you're probably predicting the next step here. So if I were on my daily note today, let me do this in the daily note now. Actually, no, I'm going to do this in the same note here just for the sake of consistency. When I develop an article idea and I actually start writing it, and I'm going to go into the process in a second, but this might just mean jotting down some ideas, brainstorming, whatever. I will then delete that. So I'm going to leave it there. Sorry, I change my mind sometimes. I'm going to change this or add to article draft here, and I would put the same title here. And in reality, if I were doing this, which is why I did this initially, I would delete the article idea tag because I don't want both tags on there. I just want one. And, you know, if I start writing it, it's no longer an idea, it's a functioning article draft. And if I'm actually actively writing it, I don't want the article idea tag because then when I'm looking at ideas for something new to write, I want things that I haven't started writing yet. If I click on this article draft tag, I can see a list of all the articles that I have that are currently in progress. And again, you can ignore this first one because that's just for this demo video. Here's one I'm currently writing, platform growth, the VC role portfolio companies need. It's a work in progress. As you can see, I still have my key points down here, which I will go into in a second. So these are now not daily notes. These are actual notes that I've dedicated for an article. So if I have an article idea and I decide I want to start writing it, I will then create the dedicated note with that title. And then I'll put article draft for Reflect, got an extra space there. And that also then attach the project for me. So this one's why most note-taking apps fail. Article draft tag for reflect backlink. And that means if I go into reflect note here, oh, it's my fake brain. Sorry. Usually if you go into the note there, it will then show up as the dedicated backlink, and I will see this article connected to reflect in the incoming backlink section. So you're starting to see how this funnel moves. It's sort of like a traditional CMS system where you kind of start with the idea, move it into draft, move it into published, yada, yada, yada. It just kind of goes down the funnel. But it's so much simpler than a CMS. If you're just someone who likes writing and you don't want to use a CMS, this is the perfect solution for you. Okay, so let me go back to my other note here, which is, it's not that one, how to use Reflect for writing. The final one, when I'm done with an article, which means I'm ready to publish it, either, on Reflect, my personal website, whatever, I will change that to published article. And again, you'll put the title there. And so now when I click on this, I have a list of all of my published articles that I've finished. And there's a couple things that you could do here. So a lot of people that I've encountered actually have an additional tag. And so they'll put, one that says article ready. And that might mean that you have not yet published it. So yeah, you haven't yet published it, but it is ready to be published. So if you're someone who's running a blog, maybe you're a content marketer, maybe you're a copywriter, whatever the role is, when you are ready to publish something, you might theoretically want a list of articles that are already done that are ready to publish. Now, me personally, I'm mostly just writing for fun, so I don't want that extra step in there. I, to be honest, don't really track what's published very much in my notes because, again, I'm here for simplicity, but totally up to you. You could add that. And you just go down this line, and then you have this beautiful list of all of the articles. So again, these are articles that I have finished. Cultivating an Addiction for Exercise. This is one that I think I have actually published this one on my website, although I might have just made it a fake one for this video, but you get the idea. So that's method one. Wow, we're already 7.5 minutes in, and that was just method one. Let me go back to my note here. So I'm going to cross this off. Tags and backlinks. And you'll notice again that all of those, it's tag, so article draft, article idea, published article, for backlink your project. For me, it's personal website, Reflect, my agency, Startup Cookie, etc. Now, there is a different way that you could do this that some people heavily prefer to not use tags with, and that is you could have a dedicated CMS page. So here I have a writing CMS page. I have it pinned on my side here because if I use this, I would probably reference it quite often. And I've basically got the same thing now. I've got this same tiered article ideas, article drafts, published articles, and instead they're in these nested bullet lists with a parent backlinked. Now this does work, and there are some benefits to this. The top benefit in my mind is that you can actually drag and drop them between the projects and the different stages, just like a normal CMS system. So if I start writing this article, I could drag this down from Reflect article ideas to Reflect article drafts. Back that one out. And then, at that point, this would then become a backlinked note. So I would create a backlink for that. I would then write my draft. And when I'm done with it and I publish it, I would then move it into the published section for Reflect, just like that. Obviously, dragging and dropping is really, really nice. There's a couple things I don't like about this system, though. One is just that the more you write, the messier this page gets. You can already see that it's kind of ugly and it's kind of hard for me to navigate. And I've tried to organize some of these things by putting emojis here, but really I just want everything backlinked. And so it just becomes a sea of lost backlinks. It also wouldn't be valuable to combine these and say, I could change this to tag article draft, but there's not really a point because then that just connects that note with the article draft, whereas I don't really need to know that. And so the tag becomes useless. That's why I say don't combine these tactics, use one or the other. So if you really want a dedicated note, and I have to be completely honest, usually the people that want dedicated notes are folder people. So people that come from Google Drive, Evernote, these note-taking tools that use folders. And it's because dragging and dropping these feels like it's putting it into a folder. But honestly, I would just use tags. And the nice thing about that too is that I can then go into my advanced search, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, and I can type in, article, let's do idea. And, then I have a list of all of my article ideas, and I can actually start chatting with those article ideas, which is kind of nice. And sometimes I even use the chat to develop my idea for an article. So there's just a lot of benefits, I think, of using the tag system over the backlink, but I do want to give people a option of which one they want to use. Okay, so I'm going to cross that off, and we are going to call that good on number 1 for CMS. We're only 10.5 minutes in. Okay, so this next part will be actually probably faster because it's not really a new concept. It's pretty straightforward because you want to make the writing as easy on yourself as possible. And so let me first just kind of go over what my writing process usually is. By the way, I stole this from Alex, so I didn't come up with this or anything. And Alex is a much better writer than I am, so you can trust his advice. The first thing I do is I regurgitate my thoughts via an audio note. So if you've seen any of my videos, you probably know I use audio notes all the time. It's this thing up top here. I can just click on this and start recording and transcribing my thoughts. Usually though, for articles, I am doing it off of my mobile phone. I have my iPhone 15 action button set up to just record a Reflect audio note right with just one click. If you don't have that, you can set up the shortcut on your phone. So there's a lot of things you can do to just instantly start recording. There's even an Apple Watch shortcut. I have a video on that you should go check out. All of this stuff. The point is that you want to be able to capture your thoughts as quickly and easily as possible when inspiration strikes. And the really nice thing about these transcribers, besides the fact that they use AI, so they're almost perfectly accurate, is that you can just choose the environment that you want. You can just go ramble about your thoughts. They don't have to be organized. They don't have to be structured. If I'm writing my note on best paragliding locations in Slovenia, I can just start listfully, remembering all the wonderful places I've flown and list them without needing to worry about which one was my favorite or whatnot. And I can just add all my own thoughts because the AI is going to organize that for us later. But I think the important thing is really focusing on capturing your thoughts because that's going to be the meat of your writing. Again, writing is just thinking. So don't kind of skip or not skip over this step, but don't speed through this step. Really enjoy this step. Take your time. Enjoy taking an audio note and, really start from a good place so that you have nice thoughts to organize later. That will make the whole thing easier. Okay, and then after that, we are going to organize those thoughts into, we're just going to organize them into something that really looks like an outline. And I don't like to have AI use these complex outlines. I basically just want a key list of my talking points. So if I go back to my article draft, let me find it. I think that was the one on platform VC growth that I haven't finished. You see here at the bottom, I have these key points, and this is the way I like to write. I don't like to have a complex outline from, generated by AI, even if it's from my thoughts. I just like to have a list of the key points. And what I'll usually do, this is an ordered list. So I went in here and reordered these. So you can see for the most part, I'm crossing them off as I go, with the exception of this one. Changes happen, probably went in a different direction there. And I'll just write off of each of those points. So I take my transcription, which is what this article started out on, just a big block of text. And then I asked AI to organize that into key points. I can kind of select this pretending it's my audio note, and I'll just show you. I'll pull up the AI assistant, and I have a bunch of prompts here. Some are custom, some are system, but list key takeaways. Honestly, that's great for this one. It's the one I often use. There is a literal prompt that is a system prompt that is generate an outline for an article. You could also do an overview if you want, but honestly, I just really like these key point lists. And then I can just reorder them in the one list in the order that I want to make them go in. And that makes the article flow a little bit better without you having to get really in depth with nesting and whatnot in an article outline. Because at the end of the day, I want the writing and the thinking to be mine. I just want AI to take that admin work off of me. Okay, so let me go back to my note here. And we've now organized our jumbled thoughts into a key points list. And now you're ready to write your draft. And this is totally up to you. You can do it however you'd like. I honestly switch back and forth between, sometimes I will type my draft. So in that case that I was at specifically, here I'm actually typing this for the most part. Sometimes I will actually read through this key point list and I will try to write the article with my voice notes. But as you're learning from this video, which is now 15 minutes long, sometimes I like to ramble. And so I found if I write my article by just taking a voice note, it ends up overly verbose. And I like my writing to be more simple, more concise. Of course, you could have AI make it concise for you after the fact, but sometimes you won't like the writing style. So it's completely up to you. I think in reality, for the most part, I will mostly type my articles based off these key points. And then I'll kind of interject, voice notes into it that I won't have to actually type. Another way is just to speak the whole thing so that you get everything down and then go through and manually edit out and shorten it. Sometimes I'll do that too. So completely up to you. But now you have your basically draft. And so you're ready to just kind of edit it and improve it. So let me just kind of, I guess, keep using the same example here. VC platform growth. So if I go back into this one, I'm going to pretend this is done, which it is very much not, but let's pretend it is. And then I would just highlight this, and there's a ton of AI prompts that you can use for writing. So let me go down to the system prompts here. I'll just pretend my custom ones aren't there, but I'll talk about that a little later. So, you can have it continue writing for you. You can have it fix your spelling and grammar. I use that one literally every time. You can have it rephrase your writing. I don't know if you'd really want to use that, but I don't know. Maybe you want to create a custom prompt that writes in a certain tone. Simplify and condense, that's a really good one, especially if you're writing via voice note. Copy editor, obviously that's a great one. You can have it suggest title options. Gosh, again, like there's just so much you can do with this. And you can see I had some custom ones up here. So I have a close copy editor that will basically go fix things and slightly improve it, but it won't change the writing style at all. So a lot of things, and I'll try and include a link to the custom AI prompt spreadsheet that I made so that if you want to copy some of these custom AI prompts, you can. But AI is really, really good for editing and improving your writing. It is not very good for doing the writing right off the bat. Sorry. Okay. So that is the second section. I think I can do this in under 20 minutes. Let's see if we can do it. A couple tips here. Focus mode. So if you're someone who just likes to shut everything out, you can use shortcut Command-Shift-F, and that removes the sidebars. And now you're just kind of stuck in your writing article, which I really, really like. You can still use all the same editing functionality. It just removes those sidebars. So that one's really quick. This is a big one, choosing the right thought capture environment. So again, you don't want to overthink or maybe underthink this part, but go in whatever environment you think you do your best thinking in. For me, that's usually walking outside. So I will literally go for a walk around my neighborhood and just walk around in the sun, enjoy the bright sunlight, which we usually have in Colorado, and I'll just regurgitate my thoughts on a subject. Maybe for you, you want to do it while you're exercising. Maybe you want to do it in the shower. I think we all have those environments where we know we just think better. Whatever environment you think better in, that is where you should be recording the audio note. Closely connected to that, record as soon as you have inspiration strike. Obviously, the important thing is to record the idea. So if you just have the article idea, then just record the idea. But if you're actually having inspiration around an idea, try to capture all of that in the moment. Capture everything around the topic that you want to actually add into your article, because that's probably as powerful as that inspiration's ever going to be. It's just going to get lesser and lesser over time. So take advantage of the moment, take 5-10 minutes and just record everything you can think of. You can always go back and record more. And lastly, I kind of went over this already, but you can use a combination of tags and backlinks with our advanced search that will help you go through your writing, and you can even then chat with your writing. So let me add an article tag here that says, I'll say article idea. So let's say I woke up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to write an article for Reflect. I can do article idea there. So now these are all of my article ideas. And I want to have the ones that contain a backlink for Reflect. So I could see this here because, it gives you a note preview. And actually some of these I didn't do, actually all of these examples, I did not do a good job on the ideas of article idea for Reflect. So maybe I should use a different example. You'll have to excuse me on that one. Maybe if I put in article draft or published. Yeah, there we go, for Reflect. So then I want to, let's say, also search for things that are containing the backlink Reflect. So if it has the tag article idea and is linked to the Reflect note, then I know that those are only article ideas about Reflect. So let's do that. Linked to Reflect boom, we have that one there that shows up. I am linking out to Reflect here, and you can kind of sort by that. I know this isn't a real example here. You can also do linked by. I don't think that's probably as relevant here, but you get the general idea. And whatever filters you apply, you can then chat with your results. So, maybe I want to chat with that and say, what are some article drafts I have started and can finish today? And it will probably just look through those notes. This might be a weird answer because it's including that one example note from today. Oh, it didn't actually. Nice. And so, these are articles that seem mostly finished, and they are. I probably would just need to put in like another hour or so to finish them. So I can go off of that. I did not make my 20-minute mark, but that is pretty much it for this video. I do think this is a pretty good comprehensive writing guide for Reflect. And again, I just can't emphasize how wonderful Reflect is as a writing tool. So go enjoy it. Share some things that you've written with it. I think that would be fun to see. And also if you have a different workflow that you like using, I'm always open to suggestions. So also, if you like this one, I should always remember to say this in the beginning, please subscribe to the channel. We'll see if that increases our subscriber account. And we also have a free weekly note-taking workflow newsletter. I'll include a link to that in the video. And as promised, I will also include a link to the custom AI prompt spreadsheet for note-taking so that you can copy some of my custom prompts.